Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to apply for a child's passport or renew a child's passport. I'll show you which form to fill in, what documents and fee you need to prepare and submit with your application, and how to book an appointment at a passport processing facility. I really hope you find this video helpful. Now, let's get started. Whether you're applying for a very first passport for a child under 16, or if their passport is coming to expiry and you want to get them a new one, all children under age 16 must apply for a passport in person with two parents or legal guardians using Form DS-11. The passport renewal form DS-82 cannot be used when renewing a child's passport. Passports for children under the age of 16 are only valid for 5 years. There are 3 steps to applying for a child's passport. You'll fill in Form DS-11, the US passport application. That's the same form used by adults when they apply for their first passport. After that, you will assemble all of the supporting documents and the payment to submit with your application. These include documents that prove the parental relationship link between yourself and your child. You will then schedule and attend a passport appointment at your nearest passport center, post office, or even your public library if it offers that service. You do have the ability to schedule the appointment before filling in the form, but it's important to make sure that when you attend the appointment, you have everything prepared. So I'm on the travel.state.gov website, and for not only this website, but every other resource that I mentioned in this video, those direct links I'll put for you in the description box below. So on the main page here at travel.state.gov, I will scroll down to where it says Get a US Passport and click on that. Then here on this box on the left, it says, I need a passport, and we're going to click on, I'm applying for my child under age 16. And then here, there are steps to apply. Step 1 is fill out Form DS-11. By clicking on it, we can expand it, and we get further information and 2 ways to fill in the application form. There's the form filler option, and then there's the PDF option, which I'm going to show to you today, so we can see the entirety of the form. So I'll click on PDF. Upon opening this PDF, we can see that there are 6 pages, but don't be too concerned as the majority of these pages are instructions. The only 2 pages that you need to complete are pages 5 and 6, and they are fairly straightforward. And here's a couple of things that I want to bring to your attention. First of all, here at the top it says use black ink only, and if you make an error, you need to complete a new form. Do not try to correct the form by using things like whiteout. Then we've got a couple of options here. Firstly, you can select what type of document you want to apply for. You can apply for just the US passport book, a US passport card, or both. Just be advised that the US passport card is not valid for international air travel. For that, only the US passport book will do. But it may be of interest to you to apply for a US passport card for your child as an additional form of ID, for example. After that, in terms of the US passport book, you have 2 options, a regular book, aka standard, or a large book, aka non-standard. The large book is for frequent international travelers who need more visa pages. So if you do travel extensively, then the large book is probably a better option for you so you don't have to renew your passport sooner. But there is no price difference between the regular book and the large book. If you have a previous passport for the child and no information has changed, it's always worthwhile having that passport open in front of you on the bio page and just copying and pasting the information in from that onto the pertinent sections here on the application form. So you'll fill in the form halfway down on page 5, and then please be advised this blue banner here, it says stop, continue to page 2. Do not sign the application until requested to do so by authorized agent. So you won't be signing here anywhere until you go to your appointment and see the agent in person. They will look over your application and make sure it's acceptable, and then advise all parties to sign where they need to. Then you go on to the second page of the application form and complete that in its entirety. And again, stop where it says, please do not write below this line. It's for the issuing office only. Here in steps to apply, at step 2, it says provide US citizenship evidence. Your evidence must be an original or certified physical copy, and you must submit one of the following documents for your child. A full validity, undamaged US passport, including expired passports. And full validity means that the document is or was valid for 10 years for adults and 5 years for children under 16. Of course, this is a video about children's passports, so the maximum validity a child would have under 16 is 5 years. A US birth certificate that meets the following requirements. It's issued by the city, county, or state of birth, lists applicant's full name, date of birth, and place of birth. It lists the parent or parents' full names, has the date filed with registrar's office, and that must be within 1 year of birth, has the registrar's signature, and has the seal of the issuing authority, or a consular report of birth abroad or certification of birth, or a certificate of citizenship. And it's really worth reiterating that you're going to have to submit the original. You cannot submit digital evidence of your child's US citizenship, such as a mobile or electronic birth certificate. It must be a physical, original evidence of US citizenship. And here, a mistake made by many, also a photocopy of the document. Many people don't bring a photocopy with them, and it can cause severe stress and delays in the application process. So make sure you come prepared with not only the original document, but a photocopy of the document. This is a common mistake made by many. Make sure you're not one of them. Moving on to showing parental relationship. You must submit documentation that lists the parent or parents or legal guardians of the child applying for a passport. And in order to do so, the following may be used to show parental relationship: the US birth certificate, a foreign birth certificate, an adoption decree, or a divorce custody decree. And it's worth noting that some documents like a US birth certificate show both US citizenship and parental relationship. If you opt to use this, the documents must be originals or certified copies. If you have concerns because you and your child may have different last names, this is not an issue, as long as the parental relationship document lists your full name. If your name has changed from that on the parental relationship document, then you must provide proof of your legal name change, such as a marriage certificate or court order. Presenting ID. The parents or guardians must present one of the following identification documents to the acceptance agent: a valid or expired, undamaged US passport book or passport card, in-state fully valid driver's license or enhanced driver's license with photo, a certificate of naturalization, a certificate of citizenship, government employee ID, which can be city, county, state or federal, US military or military dependent ID, a current valid foreign passport, a Mexican consular ID, a US permanent resident card, also known as a green card, a trusted traveler ID, which can include global entry, fast, Century, and Nexus cards, enhanced tribal cards, and Native American tribal photo IDs. And it's worth bearing in mind that you may be asked to present an additional ID when presenting one of these 3 documents, such as in-state fully valid learner's permit with photo, an in-state fully valid non-driver ID with photo, or a temporary driver's license with photo. Although some states may issue digital ID documents, the passport office cannot accept these digital IDs when you apply for your child's US passport. You must continue to submit your physical photo ID, and again, a photocopy of the ID. Much like the evidence of US citizenship for the child, you'll bring the original form of your ID as well as a photocopy. And for example, if you bring your driver's license photo card, it's going to be the front and back. Do not get caught out by this common mistake. Next up, parental consent. Both parents or guardians must authorize the issuance of the child's passport. And the very best way to do this is for both parents or guardians to go with the child in person to apply for the passport. However, what if both parents or guardians cannot appear in person? These are some of the most common scenarios that could play out. What if you have sole legal authority? Then you must submit evidence of this with the application. Examples of this include a complete court order granting your sole legal custody of the child, such as a divorce decree or other custody order, or a complete court order specifically permitting you to apply for your child's passport, a certified copy of the child's birth certificate listing you as the only parent, a certified copy of an adoption decree listing you as the only parent, a certified copy of the judicial declaration of incompetence of the parent that cannot appear in person, or a certified copy of the death certificate of the parent that cannot appear in person. What if one parent is unable to appear? Well, if one parent or guardian cannot go with the child to apply for the passport, they can give permission by completing Form DS-3053, Statement of Consent. It's a one-page application form, and there are two things that the parent that cannot go with the child must do. They must sign and date Form DS-3053 in the presence of a certified notary public, and they must submit a photocopy of the front and back of the ID that they present to the notary public with Form DS-3053. What if you cannot locate the other parent? In that instance, you must submit Form DS-5525, Special Family Circumstances, and you must complete the form with as much detail as possible, and be prepared that you will be asked for additional evidence, which includes a custody order, an incarceration order, or a restraining order to protect against international parental child abduction. And if the non-applying parent is deployed by the military, he or she should be able to provide a notarized Form DS-3053 in most cases. In the rare case that the non-applying parent cannot be contacted, you must provide either military orders with a Form DS-5525 showing the non-applying parent can't be contacted because they are on a special assignment for more than 30 days outside of their duty station, or a signed statement from the non-applying parent's commanding officer that they can't be reached. And what if neither parent is able to appear? A third party may apply for the child's passport with a Form DS-3053 Statement of Consent, or a notarized statement from both parents or guardians giving that third party permission to apply for the child. The statement must include a photocopy of the parent's or guardian's identification. Make sure, again, it's front and back. And when the statement is from only one parent or guardian, the third party must present evidence of sole custody of the consenting parent or guardian. And please do note that any written authorization from a parent that cannot appear in person must be less than 3 months old. Moving on to the photo. You must provide one photo of your child. The best places to go to get the photo are places such as Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, etc. They routinely take passport photos and know all of the specifications. But do be advised of the following. Do not attach or staple the photo to the form. The acceptance agent or the passport employee accepting your child's form will first review the photo and, if acceptable, will then staple it. It is possible to get a photo taken at some of the passport acceptance facilities for an additional fee. And speaking of the passport acceptance facility, it's really worth emphasizing that it will keep the original birth certificate or naturalization certificate for the child. This is a part of the application process. The document will be returned to you, but it will be in a separate envelope to your new passport, and is usually delivered to you after you have received the new passport. When it comes to processing times, we can scroll up on this page, and here on the right hand side it says processing times. At the time of this video's recording, the routine processing time is 10 to 13 weeks, with the expedited time being 7 to 9 weeks and costing an extra $60. Processing times only include the time your application is at one of our passport agencies or centres. The total time to get your passport includes both processing and mailing times, and up to 2 weeks for you to receive a completed passport in the mail after it's printed. You must consider the total time it will take to receive your passport when you are booking travel. Moving on to cost. By clicking on Step 9, Calculate Fees, we can see here again, at the time of recording, the passport book for a child is $100. The passport card is $15, and a passport book and card is $115. And whether you apply for the book, card, or both, there is an execution fee of $35. The application fee and the execution fee are to be paid separately. The execution fee is going to be paid at the passport acceptance office, and it may be possible to pay it by credit card or cash, but I would very much recommend that you take your checkbook and or a debit card just in case. You want to be armed with as many options as possible to pay this execution fee just in case their card machine isn't working or they're not able to accept cash for any reason. Make sure you don't get caught out at this last hurdle. And when it comes to the passport fee, that is to be paid by check or money order to the US Department of State. I think the best option for you is to take a blank check with you and confirm the amount with the passport processing assistant and then fill in the amount once they've confirmed the costs for you. Here you can see it says passport fees and there's a link. And by clicking on it, we are given the option called fee calculator. Again, we'll click on that and we'll then answer a few simple questions and it will give us a tailor-made answer to our fee question. And for where do you currently reside, I'll select United States. What is your date of birth? So as it's a child, I'll pick a date of birth to illustrate that. Have you ever had a US passport? Let's click on no. And then it says, to further calculate the fee, we can choose what type of passport we want. We could have the passport book, which is $100, is valid for international travel by air, land, and sea. A passport card for $15, which is valid only for return to the US by land or sea from Canada, Mexico, Bermuda, and the Caribbean. Or we can go for a combination of both passport book and card for $115. In this instance, I'm just going to go ahead with the passport book, and then it moves on to the processing method. So here I have standard, no additional fees, and the processing time is 10 to 13 weeks at the time of recording. Again, processing times begin the day we receive your application at a passport agency or center, and do not include mailing times, which may add several weeks on to the door-to-door time it takes to receive your passport. If we opt for the expedited processing method, it's an additional $60, where processing is between 7 to 9 weeks. And then you can also opt for expedited at agency processing, which again is $60, and you must have international travel in the next 14 calendar days to apply at an agency or center. Here we'll just go for the standard method, and then we scroll down further and it gives us 2 delivery options. Standard delivery, where there are no additional fees, and delivery is by USPS priority mail for the new passport book, and documents may be returned to you via first-class mail. So those documents could be a previous US passport and the proof of citizenship. Or you can opt for 1 to 2 day delivery, which is an additional $19.53, which covers the cost for the new passport book. However, the supporting documents are going to be returned by first-class mail. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and apply for standard delivery, and then click on calculate. So now I have the costs attributed to this service itemized for me. The passport book is $100. I've opted for both standard processing and standard delivery, which have no additional cost for either service. So the total payable to the Department of State is going to be $100. So I'll make out my check or money order made payable to the Department of State as $100 and the execution fee of $35. I will pay on the spot at the acceptance facility. I highly recommend using this fee calculator just so that you can get a sense of how much the whole service will cost you. And if you're still not sure, once again, turn up at the acceptance facility with a blank check and then confirm it with the agent there processing your application, and then fill in the amount in front of them. And here at step 10, finding the location to apply and submit your completed application. Inside the United States, you and your child must submit the completed application, including supporting documents, photo, and fees in person at a passport acceptance facility. So now we'll click on Passport Acceptance Facility, and here we can use this site to find the nearest acceptance facility where you can submit the passport application. Acceptance facilities include post offices, clerks of court, public libraries, and other local government offices which accept passport applications on behalf of the US Department of State. And it's possible to search for these facilities by way of zip code, state, or state city. And you'll also be able to find the facilities which offer on-site photo services. So here on search by, I'll just put in a zip code, and I have the option for the closest 10 facilities. And then for additional search criteria, we can add on handicap access, photo on site, or photo nearby. Let's just add photo on site because that is a handy tool to have just in case we struggle to get the photo taken elsewhere. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on search. So as you can see, I've got a whole list of different facilities that can accept passport, ranging from the public library to post offices to a city clerk's office. So I'll go to the one that's the closest in terms of distance. Let's try Beverly Hills Public Library, and handily it gives me the name, the address, the facility type. This one is a library, and all of the customer conveniences are listed here as well. So it has handicap access, it has photo on site and photo nearby. There is also an alternative way to book an appointment. Here at USPS.com, I'll leave this link in the description box below for you. So step 1 is choose a service. So service type will be new passport with passport services. And here it does say if you go for the passport services, please note that photo services are only available at select USPS locations for a $15 fee. As it's a child application, here for minor under 16 years old, let's pick 1. And handily it does tell you what form to fill in, DS11. Step 2 is search by, so search for appointments by location or date. So let's just try by location. You can try whichever one is more preferable. In this instance, I'll pick on location. And again, I'll just put in my trusty zip code, and let's try a radius of 10 miles. And it has handily ticked the box saying passport photo locations. Now let's click on search. Now it's populated for me several post office locations. So I've got Praias, Bicentennial, West Adams, Sunset, and so on. Let's go for the closest location. Let's go for Praias and click on select location. And here we get more information about this post office. So it has the business hours, Monday to Friday and Saturday, and that passport appointment hours are only Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Then we can select a day. Select the day you'd like to make your appointment. You can book appointments up to 4 weeks in advance. Only available time slots will be displayed. So that's good. It gives us up to a month to get our appointment booked. And in the meantime, we can get our application form filled in and gather all of our supporting documents. So let's click on the calendar icon. Please note appointments are not available on holidays. And the calendar key shows us what appointments are available, where the square is white and not grey. And well, it looks like they're pretty busy in the month of July. So the earliest I can get is August 1st, which is a Tuesday. So I can select that by clicking on it. And when I click on it, the square turns blue to show I've selected it. So to get that date, I'll then click on select date. And now I've selected the date. It says step 3, select a time. Select a time from the list of appointments available. If you don't see a time that works for you, check another location. Appointments take approximately 15 minutes per person, and you should arrive 10 minutes before your appointment. So we can see here there are quite a few appointments available. So I'll just pick a random appointment here for 1 p.m. Appointment available, 15 minutes for one appointment. And then step 4 is providing contact information, where I'll provide my name, my number, and my email address. I won't do that because I don't want to take up this appointment unnecessarily, as I'm just demonstrating this service to you. After that, once the appointment is booked, make sure you appear at the appointment with your application form completed in full, your supporting documents and photocopies, and the correct fee. I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please do give it a like and consider subscribing. Why not share it with someone else you think may benefit from it? And if you have any questions or comments, leave them for me below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I've been Tesh from The Form Filler. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.